What is up, guys, and welcome to your first tutorial in Visual Basics. In this tutorial we're going to be learning how to do Hello World, and as opposed to its other sister languages, it's nowhere near as hard. It's very simple. You'll catch on really easily. I don't think anyone will be left out in this video as opposed to blowing their mind of how hard it will be. Um, I will be posting how to download this program, which is called an MDE, and that could either stand for Modular something something or Microsoft Developer Edition. I'm not sure what the modular. It was something modular. I can't remember the other two initials, but anyways, I'll be posting a video on how to download this program. Just check out the video link. It's going to be in the description. And let's get started with after you've downloaded the program. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to File, and then we're going to go to New Project, and then in this window, make sure you have Windows Forms application highlighted. And we're going to edit it down here where it says Name, and we're going to type Hello World, and then click OK. And then you should get this form. It's just a blank form. It should appear, and if you're at this stage, you're doing perfectly fine. And now we're going to discuss some of the things that you see in this window. The first thing I would like to point out is this tab right here. Now what this tab right here is called the Design window. And in this window you see your form, the visual part of Visual Basics. This is one of my favorite features in Visual Basics. And the next thing I would like to discuss is the Properties tab. Now what the Properties tab is in this tab or box you will see the properties of your button or your label, and you will understand what the properties of that is later. Now let's get into the code part of the Visual Basics. We're going to go to the code window, and how you do that is you go up here to the Solution Explorer and you click View Code. After you click it, you should get something that's called the programming window or code window, whatever you want to call it. We're going to call it the code window for short. And we're going to create Hello World. Now the first thing you need to do is go to your toolbox, and your toolbox is up here in this little tool menu of like save, undo, all that good stuff. And you're going to click on the toolbox icon. It's kind of I think it's a hammer and a nail. Pretty sure that other thing is a nail. And we're going to go to down here in this little thing. You should see label. If you do not, it's probably like this, and all you gotta do is click on all window forms or common controls. I'm pretty sure it would still be in there, but I usually do all window just in case we use something that's not in the list. We're gonna go to label. Now there's three ways you can get this on the form. You can either drag it onto the form, you can double click, or you can highlight it just clicking once and click enter. But we're just gonna have one label for now. Now what a label is basically just like a string that's going to appear on the form. And we're going to edit this, and how we edit it is the Properties tab, which was discussed earlier. Now the Properties tab shows all these properties for the label, and as you can see here we have a property called Name, and we're going to discuss how to name a label. And how you do this is you type LBL and then the name of your label. We're going to name this Hello World. And now why we named it Hello World is because that's pretty much what we're going to put in this string. Now what does the LBL initials mean, you ask? This means basically that we're just saying that it's a label. That is not necessary, but in my eyes it is necessary. Not for the programming wise. There won't be any errors associated with having LBL, but we're just going to put it because it makes coding a lot easier when you have these long programs and you type LBL and all your labels that you made will appear, and then you'll understand because everything in Visual Basics has a initial before it, and you'll understand later on why we use LBL. For now, just put it there, and then when you're getting to coding you'll understand. And there's a lot of other properties. You can go through these and work with and see how things work. We're going to discuss just one, and that's how to change how big it is. And we're just going to go to 20, and then you can see that it gets bigger like that. And we're going to scroll down all the way to the bottom, and we're going to look for a property that says text. And now what this is what's inside of the text. And we're going to name this Hello World. Now as you can see that you edited it, but it did not show up on the form. And we're going to click on the form, and as you can see, it updates. And we're going to put that in the middle. And another thing I want to discuss is how to change the name of the form. This is pretty essential. I'm going to actually be discussing this in a later tutorial too, just for a review. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and do it again. And this is going to be called Hello World. And now when you click on the form, it should update, and that's the name of your form. Now how I got to the Properties tab of the form, I just click rawly on the form without clicking on the label or anything else, and it should bring up the Properties tab for your form. Now anyways, moving on, now that we've edited this property from the Properties tab, how can we edit it from our design or coding window? And we're going to go to our coding window. You can see it up here in this tab. We're going to click on it like that, or you can go over here back to your button in your Solution Explorer and click View Code. Now we're going to put a new code whenever the form loads, and what we're going to do is we're going to double click on the form, and what this does is it automatically generates a code that says when you load the form, do what's in between this, in sub and private sub, all this good stuff. You really don't need to know what all this right here means right now. We'll get into that in later tutorials. And what we're going to do, I'm going to type this and then I'm going to explain it. Now, we're going to go and edit the text property and make it blank, and it should show nothing after you do this. And I think I just edited the form. That's a no-no. Let's put that back to Hello World. And we're actually going to click on the properties for the label, and we're going to name this to nothing, basically, and it should disappear. We're going to go back to the code window, and you should see what I just typed. I'm going to explain this. The me basically means the this program. I'll get into more detail on that later. I'll just confuse you if I start talking about objects and all that good stuff. It just basically means this form, and we're going to go on to LBL Hello World, and what this means is just the name of your label, because you remember you named it LBL Hello World. And what .text means, it just means the text property of Hello World, and we're going to set this equal to Hello World, and make sure you have these quotation marks, because that pretty much says that it's a string, and if you don't have this, you'll get a big fat error. It'll have no idea what you're doing. And anyways, that's pretty much how you do a Hello World from the code window. And that's all we're going to be discussing for this tutorial, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and goodbye.